I showed up live because we just hit 67,775 XRP holders from the United States and around the world. And that deserves recognition. 67,775 people. So I just wanted to show up to let that presence be known. Let the SEC see us there, Ripple lawyers see us there, the court see us there. And so that's the reason I went.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and John Deaton streamed live today after the court hearing. He was in person in New York to really share his observations and did so in a 30-minute video where he took questions. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. I woke up at 4 a.m. to listen, and I was able to get on the call. I fell asleep at one point sitting in my chair as the SEC attorney talked in circles, trying to argue what is obviously a losing hand. The SEC is still trying to hide the Hinman emails, and the judge gave the attorney today one more chance to clarify the statements for the record. This is very clear to John. She wants to use these comments in her written opinion. Here are some of the questions she asked.
Opinion. I have no doubt about it. Mark my word, it will show up in her written opinion. Couple of those comments. Okay. Help me understand what advice Hinman received. What was he seeking advice for? Do you stand by the position last year that the speech was his personal opinion, which never got answered, by the way? The SEC has distanced itself from that speech as his personal opinion. She said that 3 times, maybe 2, could be 3 times. The SEC has said his opinion can't be imputed on the SEC. She slapped the SEC attorney down saying, did you just say in his capacity as director? And then brought out the fact, isn't that inconsistent? And so she was getting statements because she was asking very poignant questions. What advice was he seeking?
Let's listen to one more portion of John's live stream.
Is the SEC's goal to take this to trial? The answer is yes, unless they have a reason not to. And that reason could be the emails, or somebody comes to Gary Gensler and says, we're going to lose bad, and there's going to be a legal precedent that puts us out of business, right? It could be that, where he comes to the table. They could also be eyeing the bill and what this Cynthia Lummis bill, what potential does it have? Is it going to give everything to the commodities, the CFTC? And so if they think they're going to lose jurisdiction to the CFTC, why not roll the dice on the lawsuit? So I think our best bet for a settlement is from today's hearing, and that's why we're doing the live stream, because the only way this case settles is if they have to turn over those emails, before the end of this year.
The call was just awful. I didn't hear anything presented by the SEC attorney, which was really an embarrassment as a lead attorney. So we're back in a holding pattern along with the market as it continues in this holding pattern moving sideways. Since the live stream, before the midnight deadline, the SEC filed a document that they wish to seal the expert opinion of Patrick Doody, citing the witness safety. So make it be known, nobody should contact a witness or any lawyer at all. Now, this could be an SEC tactic. It could also be an example of today's digital age with our online footprints, our shared personal data, and even the Google Map and Street View has brought our privacy to be really non-existent. And take a look at this. Former Ripple employee Matt Hamilton, he shows us something very interesting. If you ever doubted that the concerted FUD against XRP was not scripted, think again. Matt Hamilton shows us that in this particular case, the same 12 words are used over and over, repeated verbatim in each one of these accounts. There are dozens of accounts that have this XRP supply, and issuance is centralized and governed by a few authorities, which is 100% inaccurate. Aha! So Matt found that this has been blindly copied from the SoFi's completely inaccurate description of XRP and the XRP ledger on the SoFi Learn website. This FUD falls into a lot of ecosystems within the space, so much so that even former Ripple employees are afraid to associate themselves with the company Ripple or the digital asset XRP. I want to show you just one such example. And with me today is my colleague, Michelle Bond, our head of global government relations. We're here today to talk about a very timely topic, the state of digital asset regulation around the world, and in particular, the importance of regulation that really recognizes the differences across digital assets. So before we get started, Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself. You have such an interesting background.
Thank you, Monica. I appreciate that introduction. Well, first of all, this is the most exciting place for policy. I think the fintech space is the hottest area for policy right now, which is really exciting. As far as my background goes, I am a lawyer by trade, and I've worked in various aspects of the law. I worked in global law firms, and I worked for the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, for the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, and then I've transitioned now back into the private sector. So I think joining Ripple has just been really amazing, because Ripple is a global company that's very akin and just used to working with regulated entities, financial institutions, payment providers, and Ripple works in the regulated, the existing regulated framework, which is very exciting. Thank you, Amy. Thanks for having me here today. I'm very pleased to talk with all of you about this exciting space. I am the global head of government relations at Ripple. Ripple is a really interesting company. So we are in the blockchain space, as you know, and what we're doing is we've created a frictionless experience for customers to transfer value across borders. So basically, money can move across borders the same way you can access information like on the internet today. So that's basically our business proposition. The way that we do that is by using a digital asset. It's called XRP, and XRP is the third largest cryptocurrency after both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And essentially, it's more scalable, it's more efficient, it's more cost effective, and it's really built for payments. And it enables a cross-border payment to occur within 30 seconds as opposed to 3 to 5 business days using other networks that are out there.
And now I want you to listen to Michelle Bond introduce herself in a video that was uploaded just in the last 24 hours.
I guess I should introduce myself first. So I ran regulatory affairs for Bloomberg. I was counsel on the Senate Banking Committee. I've spent my entire career working on policy, and I was a lawyer at the SEC after leaving private practice. So that's a little bit about me, but Sigal, I'm going to turn to you.
Now, you may think she just forgot to mention that she worked for Ripple, but you can see that on her Twitter account, there is no mention of her previous experience with Ripple. Now, you may think this is no big deal. I mean, people just don't put everything on their Twitter account. But what about LinkedIn? LinkedIn is used to show your complete work history. And here we see that Ripple was just wiped from her LinkedIn page. So is it just me? Am I the only person that thinks that not putting all of your work history is a little bit misleading or even as far as dishonest? I asked that very question in a poll today. It's only been 4 hours. I have 680 votes. That's a pretty big sampling size for just 4 hours. And I asked, is it dishonest or misleading to wipe your real job history with a certain company from the LinkedIn and Twitter page? And look at this. I guess I'm in the minority. 37.6% says, who cares? 21% say it depends on the company. And just 41.2% say it's dishonest and misleading. I'm a little surprised. I will see what the final results are in 20 hours, but it looks like it's going to shake out close to this percentage breakdown. Some days it's tough to be an XRP holder, but let me share with you a few things that you can smile about. This is Vida Nova Bank. It's on the southern Caribbean island called Curacao, and they talk about being part of RippleNet. And particularly, look at this. RippleNet connects banks, payment providers, digital asset exchanges, and corporations. And with this technology, you can message, clear, and settle financial transactions in real time. Whenever you see the word settle, that means XRP. Because if you use RippleNet without the use of the digital asset XRP, it is basically a messaging system. But when you can clear and settle, I am 100% positive that is with the use of the digital asset XRP. So they're paving a way to send money globally in one frictionless experience. If you hold ADA, well, look at Cardano. The volume is surging as DeFi development ramps up. This is a very good thing for this particular blockchain. One of the biggest announcements today in the crypto space was PayPal is enabling crypto transfers to external wallets. This is a huge step to mass adoption. Even Alex Cobb's Twitter feed will give you a little bit of a smile. Since he moved to South Korea for that short period of time, he's really become a foodie, and now he's posting pictures. I have to say, I'm enjoying this very much. And today I received the very first Flare community poster. I'm so looking forward to the July 4th mainnet going live. For many, this is going to be a big event. And if you are wanting your own first Flare community poster, definitely see Stedis on Twitter at STEDAS. That is your source. Okay, everybody, let's jump to the fluff. And this is kind of a fluffy fluff. We're talking about this time of year up in Hokkaido, Japan, there is an Unkai terrace. And this is a terrace that is affiliated or associated with a really very popular resort, Hoshino resort called Tomomu. You can be very adventurous and you can go up from Tokyo on a day trip if you want to Hokkaido. It's just a 90-minute flight. And then from that 90-minute flight, you can jump on a 40-minute bus and then take an hour local train to a gondola that'll take you up to the resort area. And for about 19 or about 15 US dollars, you'll be able to experience this very unique chance to be in the clouds. Yes, this is the time of year, and it just started, where the air temperature, which is a little bit warmer, meets the seawater temperature, and these large-scale low-level clouds or sea fog occurs. You have about a 40% chance that you'll meet these sea clouds. It's kind of interesting that a resort would be built focused around people hoping for bad weather, because it is the bad weather that brings the most dramatic clouds. Let me show you a couple of ways that you can actually experience this phenomenon. This is one of about 7 different ways. This is called their Cloud 9 Sea Walk. And yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? And the terrace looks like it would have just these really great dramatic views. And how about the unique structure that you can float in the clouds? Well, I think this might be on a few bucket lists. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.